Imagine a user bypassing your website's form validation and injecting bad data, corrupting your database, causing security breaches, or breaking business logic. This risk is real, and it's more common than you might think. In today's fast-paced world of modern front-end applications, robust and secure input validation is not just a best practice, it's absolutely critical. Yet, while most developers reach for popular validation libraries to solve this problem, these tools come with hidden costs: increased bundle sizes slowing down your app, dependency vulnerabilities, and validation logic that's buried deep and hard to debug or customize. What if you could implement airtight, transparent, and fully customizable validation without adding a single external library? That's exactly what you'll learn today. In this tutorial, you'll discover how the JavaScript Proxy Pattern empowers you to intercept, validate, and control every change to your form data, enforcing security and data integrity directly at the source. You'll see how this approach can be seamlessly integrated into any front-end stack, vanilla JavaScript, React, Vue, or beyond. We'll break down the core proxy concepts, walk through building a secure validation layer from scratch, and cover advanced patterns for real-world forms, complex workflows, and even enterprise-grade needs. By the end, you'll have the skills to design safer, leaner, and more reliable forms, no matter how complex your requirements. You'll also future-proof your front-end codebase by removing unnecessary dependencies and centralizing your validation logic for easier auditing and maintenance. If you're committed to mastering modern front-end architecture and building applications that truly stand the test of time, make sure to subscribe now. You'll get access to in-depth, practical tutorials like this one, always up to date, always focused on what matters most for your professional growth. Imagine a security guard stationed at the entrance of a building, checking every person coming in for proper identification. This is how form input validation works in front-end applications. It acts as a critical gatekeeper, ensuring only legitimate, well-formed data is allowed through. In modern web development, this gatekeeping is more important than ever. Applications routinely handle sensitive information such as emails, passwords, and personal details. If unchecked, malicious or malformed data can sneak in, causing anything from minor user frustration to severe security breaches. Traditionally, developers have used HTML5 attributes, inline validation, or third-party libraries to enforce these rules. However, these approaches come with trade-offs. HTML5 attributes are limited in scope and customization, while external libraries add dependency bloat and can obscure the logic behind the scenes. The JavaScript proxy pattern offers a new paradigm, a way to enforce validation directly at the data layer, decoupled from any specific UI or library. By intercepting every attempt to set or change a form field, the proxy acts as a programmable, always-present security guard. This ensures that validation is never bypassed, not even by an attacker manipulating the form through browser developer tools or injected scripts. The proxy's handler defines the rules of entry for each field, required flags, format patterns, length constraints, and cross-field dependencies. This approach not only strengthens security, but also centralizes and simplifies validation logic. Instead of scattering checks throughout UI event handlers or relying on opaque third-party code, all validation is logically grouped in one place. This makes it easier to audit, maintain, and extend, offering a robust foundation for building secure, user-friendly applications. To appreciate how the JavaScript proxy pattern transforms form validation, consider the distinction between passive and active data layers. In a typical application, a form state object is passive. It simply holds values, and any change must be manually checked by the developer at various points, on each input event, before submit, or as part of a validation function. This can lead to scattered logic and accidental omissions. The proxy pattern, on the other hand, turns the form state into an active participant in data integrity. Using the proxy API, every assignment to a field, like form.email, gestures, aliceexample.com, is intercepted by a set trap, a function that decides what happens before the value is actually written. Here, validation happens immediately and automatically. If the new value violates declared rules, such as being an invalid email or a mismatched password confirmation, the proxy can reject the change, record an error, or both. This mechanism is not just reactive, but also proactive. It can enforce cross-field rules, like making sure confirm password matches password, dynamically adjust to rule changes, and even handle nested or complex data structures. Unlike validation libraries, which might require wrapping your UI with special components or hooks, the proxy is framework agnostic and works with plain JavaScript objects. This means your validation logic is decoupled from presentation, usable in vanilla.js, React, Vue, or any other modern framework. The active data layer enabled by proxies promotes a clean separation of concerns, leading to code that is easier to test, reason about, and extend. You gain the power to enforce security and correctness at the deepest level of your application, without compromising performance or maintainability. This is the core proxy validation logic for secure, framework-agnostic form input validation in modern front-end JavaScript. The createValidatedForm proxy function wraps your form data object in a proxy, intercepts all property rights, and applies declarative validation rules per field. Errors are tracked and exposed as a virtual property. This is the key enabler for secure, extensible, and centralized validation without external libraries. This module defines all declarative validation rules for the form fields. Each field, email, password, confirm password, specifies its own requirements: required, pattern, min length, cross-field match, and custom messages. Keeping rules centralized and plain object-based ensures maintainability, extensibility, and secure auditability. This file declares the initial form state object, specifying all fields used in the form. It is passed to the proxy factory to be wrapped and validated. The shape of this object determines which fields are tracked and validated by the proxy. This is the main integration file for a vanilla JavaScript environment. It connects form inputs and the submit event to the proxy-wrapped form state, ensuring all changes are validated and errors are rendered reactively. No framework is required. The code demonstrates how to wire up DOM events to the proxy validator in a real-world front-end application. This is the HTML markup for the vanilla.js sign-up form demo. It provides 3 input fields: email, password, confirm password, a submit button, and a div to display validation errors. The form is connected to the JavaScript logic via element IDs. This file demonstrates how validation is decoupled from the UI, enabling a clean, maintainable front-end structure. This is a unit test suite for the proxy validator using Jest. It verifies that required fields, pattern rules, and cross-field dependencies are enforced, and that error messages are set and cleared as expected. Rigorous automated tests guarantee validator correctness and support safe refactoring. This file contains the project configuration and test setup. It declares development dependencies, Jest configuration, and NPM scripts for running tests and managing the application. This file is crucial for automated validation and continuous integration, but does not affect runtime form validation logic. This is an optional example for integrating the proxy pattern validator in a React component. It demonstrates how to wire up input fields and error rendering with the proxy-backed form state, ensuring all validation logic remains decoupled from the UI framework. The component uses a dummy state update to force re-renders when validation errors change. The demonstration begins on a modern sign-up form interface. The user scrolls smoothly to bring the form's title and description into view, followed by a visualization panel that displays the real-time state and validation status of the form's proxy-powered data model. The user starts by intentionally entering incorrect or incomplete data into each field to showcase validation in action. In the email field, they type "no tainemail," which immediately triggers an error. Next, for the password, they input a short and weak value, ABC, which fails the password strength rules. The confirm password field is filled with different, intentionally mismatching the password, resulting in a validation error. Moving to the address group, the user enters a single character 1 for the street, which is too short, and leaves the city field empty, again causing validation errors. The country is left unselected, and the terms and conditions checkbox remains unchecked. When the user attempts to submit the form in this invalid state, all relevant error messages appear, each directly referencing the field and the specific issue. The form scrolls to display these errors, and the proxy visualization updates to highlight the invalid fields, making it easy to see both the user-facing issues and the underlying proxy state enforcement. The user then proceeds to correct each field one by one. They update the email to aliceexample.com, which passes the email validation. The password is changed to strongpass1, meeting the required complexity. Confirm password is updated to match the new password, resolving the mismatch. The address is completed with 123 Main St. for the street, Springfield for the city, and United States selected as the country. The terms and conditions box is checked to complete the requirements. Upon submitting the corrected form, the errors disappear, the form submits successfully, and the proxy visualization reflects a fully valid and clean state. The form resets after a brief moment, preparing for another entry. To further demonstrate dynamic validation and proxy reactivity, the user fills out the form again with new values: bobdomain.com for email, xyzz123 for password, and confirm password, 456 Elm Ave for address street, Metropolis for city, and Canada as the country, accepting the terms once more. Each change is instantly reflected in both the form fields and the proxy visualization panel, showing how the proxy tracks and enforces validation in real time. The demonstration concludes with a slow scroll through the entire form and proxy visualization section, emphasizing the seamless integration of secure, extensible form validation directly within the application, all without reliance on external libraries. Every user action is validated at the data layer, ensuring robust, maintainable, and transparent form input handling. You've just seen how the JavaScript proxy pattern empowers you to create secure, scalable, and framework-agnostic form validation without the baggage of external libraries. By shifting validation directly into your data layer, you're not only tightening security, but also making your codebase cleaner, more maintainable, and robust against future requirements. Imagine how much faster you'll deliver features, how much easier bugs will be to trace, and how confidently you can handle even the most complex forms, all with tools native to JavaScript. To keep pushing your skills forward, dive deeper into proxy-powered patterns for auditing, permissions, or advanced state management. And if you're ready to level up even faster with practical, real-world solutions you can implement today, make sure you subscribe. You'll unlock hands-on guidance and proven strategies that will accelerate your learning curve and set you apart as a true front-end expert. Keep building secure, modern apps. The next leap in your development journey starts here.